I check. And this microphone. Okay. Fantastic. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, it's fabulous to see you all. I hope those of you staying in Homerton have had a fortifying breakfast this morning. It was absolutely wonderful to, as people started to arrive yesterday, to see people in 3D gathering in Homerton for the first time in a good few years, it feels like. We are this morning kicking off with a welcome from the principal, Lord Woolley, and by the president of the Homerton Union of Students, Robin Webber. It's in the nature of alumni weekends that I introduce people time after time after time, because it's not always the same people in the room. But you will know, I think, that on the 1st of October last year, Lord Woolley joined us as principal. He had previously served as, well, he founded and ran an organisation called Operation Black Vote, which quietly over those 25 years has been improving the way democracy works in this country and getting more representation from ethnic minorities in our democracy and in public life. But it's his broader commitment to access of opportunity and social justice that made him such a brilliant fit for Homerton. And he's now been our principal for a whole academic year. It's your first anniversary in a couple of days' time. And it has been an absolute blast. He's brought a colossal energy and sense of vision and of what Homerton can achieve. And we'll hear from Simon in a moment. Simon will pass directly on to Robin, who graduated this year from Homerton in languages, German and Russian. And Robin has become president of the Homerton Union of Students. And I'm sure you'll know that Homerton's HUS is unique in Cambridge, being so well supported. It's a sabbatical position that Robin holds. So he doesn't do this while still a student, doesn't have to juggle exams and study. He's can devote time and attention and energy to supporting all of our students as president of HUS. So without further ado, the principal, Lord Woolley.
Thank you, Matthew, good morning, everyone. Who was here last night? Can you raise your hands? Most of you. What a blast, eh? Good food, good wine, great company, and lovely stories. And I'm sure that some of you were sharing stories to each other now. I might touch upon one or two of those stories that I was told last night. I thought they were really engaging, enchanting, and one or two a bit scary. The Cambridge Ripper, remember? Not the Cambridge Rapist. Did you know about that? Oh my gosh! Who was given a whistle? Did the police say give you a whistle and a torch, and you were supposed to throw it out the window to get attraction? I was like this, listening. Really? I said to Christina and Sue who were talking, and I said, These are Homerton stories that we all need to know and share, because it's those stories that have made us who we are today. And as Matthew said, I stood here trembling a year ago, almost a year ago to the day. I had my cloak on, and the auditorium was full, but I was full of trepidation, full of hope, and my usual style, full of energy. I'd been there 3 months, and within the 3 months, we'd had a royal visit. As you know, the now king came, and then a month later, my friend, and now the king's my friend. My friend, civil rights icon, Reverend Jesse Jackson. And, I know that you know him. You probably know him more than most, coming from that era of the civil rights movement. And when he stood for the presidential election in 1984 and 1988. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Together we're strong. A young Reverend Jesse Jackson sat there, right there, and he's not too well now, but he sat there full of pride that his friend, his mentee, me, could bestow him a prestigious honorary fellowship from our college. Your college. And he said, it gives me great pride, Brother Woolley, he said, to be part of your Homerton family. 3 months gone, Matthew said, oh boy, you're a whirlwind. I said, Matthew, I'm not out of second gear. We've got things to do. We've got people to inspire. We've got a world to change. And the lovely thing about being in this role, there's so many lovely things, but one of the things that I really cherish is this team. This team of young men and women who. Here's the thing, that it's rare, very rare in today, that you get out of bed and you have a spring in your step to come to work. But that's what they do. They do. I mean, of course it's made easier. It's made easier, and I was speaking to one of you walking across, it's made it easier when your commute to work is across this beautiful lawn, right? Who told me? Somebody said to me, where are you? Who I spoke with, who I walked with. She said to me, Simon, it's so beautiful. And, when I was 19, I didn't quite realize how beautiful it was. And I said to her, that's why you're an alumni, because you can come back. Proper savor at this. They're a great team. I want them to all stand up, please, and I want you to give them a round of applause. Please. Trust me on this when I say this. They make me look good. They do. We're here because of them. It's the truth. I went by Sally's office 2 days ago, and I looked on the floor, and there was all these little name tags on the floor. I said, how you doing, Sally? She said, shh. Come back later. I said, can I help? No, go away. she wanted this weekend to be special for you. And I'm pleased you're here, and I'm pleased that, you know, they're looking so bright, and, you know, there's this wardrobe of dresses that she brings out. And I keep saying to her that here at Homerton, there's no tension between style and content. We've got it both, right? Right, Sally? But what are we here for? Why am I in this role? Well, I think that all of us are on a mission. I don't know where that mission comes from. You might say from a higher power, from God. I don't know, but we're on a mission. We're on a mission that this wonderful institution, predicated on your history, your journeys, your stories, is a beacon, a global beacon for a generation of young men and women to say, if I come to Homerton College, I'll not only get a first-class education. Do you see my Leicester accent then? Class. And Yorkshire. The Southerners class. A first-class education. And more. Much more. Because our mission, this beacon, and I said this when I began here a year ago, we need to be a beacon for council house kids, smart kids, ambitious, energetic, to see this beacon and say, I want to come to Homerton because I can excel. But even more than that, I get a place where I belong. And that's a big deal in these institutions. Because often these institutions, and I'm looking around this room, never had a place for us. That's the truth. So we have to be that shining beacon that says that says a number of things. That we believe in every street, in every city, in every corner of the country, there is potential talent. And what we have to do is we have to find pathways for that talent to find itself, to come here, to get the first-class education. And then we ask another monstrous question, if you like. For what? What purpose is this fantastic education? Is it to have a Lamborghini or a Hollywood home? Or is it for something greater? Is it to give greater equality? Is it to give people a sense that they can be a prime minister or a pilot or a doctor or a teacher that will give back to so many people? And with this team, that's what we do. But we know we're not starting from zero. You've given me a platform built on your history. What I said to Matthew and Joe and Sally, Chris and the team, I need your stories. In a week's time, there'll be 800 students here that will be a little bit phased and a little bit, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But if we can pepper this place with your stories, wonderful journeys that started here, they will read them and they'll say, wow, that's special. I wonder what my journey will be like. And so we're connected. Your time, my time, their time. I hope today, you'll have a fantastic day. You know, I had a word with the big guy so the sun would shine. I was listened to. But today is your day. I want you to drink it. I want you to embrace it. I want you to go back home and say that Simon says, by the way, I don't want any of that Lord business here, okay? All right? I use that when I'm fundraising. And I do want some of your money, by the way, for the avoidance of doubt, right? And you know why. You know why. So we can do the great things here. What you can afford, it doesn't matter. But it's Simon. It's Simon. Let's have a great day. I'm sorry that I can only be here until the afternoon, but I'll try and speak to as many of you as I can. It's a great honor. It's a privilege. I feel when I'm walking through these doors and in these premises, I'm walking on cloud 9, right? It's not work. It's a privilege. Thank you all very much. And you know, sometimes I feel like Dr. Martin Luther King, and as you know, Dr. King had more than a dream, a wonderful dream. He had a plan, and part of his plan was to empower the next generation, to pass the baton. So I'm passing the baton to the next generation. Robin, over to you.
I'm not entirely sure how you follow Simon with a speech, but I'll give it a go. And I apologise in advance that my voice is croaky. I've managed to catch freshers' flu before any of the freshers have arrived, which I think is a feat unto itself. So, like Matthew said, I'm the only sabbatical president in Cambridge. So I feel very lucky that I get to devote my whole year to the students. And it's something I really benefited from as an undergraduate. So I graduated in July, and pretty much the next day stepped into the role. And I've been here for 5 years already. So a lot of my friends went, "Why do you want to stay on?" And I sort of said, "I'm not done here. I'm not done with Cambridge. I'm not done with Homerton." And I really feel that way. So tomorrow I have the joy and also terror of welcoming half of the new freshers cohort. So they start tomorrow, and then the rest of them come in on Wednesday. And it's my job basically to take care of them throughout the year. So we do that in lots of different ways. We run our Freshers Week events, as I'm sure many of you will remember. But we also really focus on welfare. So I was a welfare officer last year, and one of the important things is making sure we've got events sort of dotted through that make sure that people are not just focusing on their academics and are able to put in their full self to their academics if they want to. And I have a great team behind me, a team of entirely students, and I get the joy of representing them at various different meetings and councils. And with them, I get to run things like BOPs for the 180 freshers that we're getting coming through. I get to run things like formals. And so it's a really wonderful opportunity for me, and especially being able to give back to the community that I got so much from. And it's really wonderful being able to see lots of alumni and see people who have come out of the same institution as I have, and see kind of where you've all gone with things. We sort of are pushing to make sure that Homerton is a place for everyone. Like Simon said, it's somewhere to offer hope to people who have maybe not fitted in the past. And that's really my goal for this year, is making sure that everyone has a place here, and making sure that we all have somewhere to call home, like I've been really lucky to do over the last 5 years. And especially, like Simon said, it's not not that much of a hardship when your commute to work is a walk across the Homerton lawns. It's a really lovely way to come into work. So I hope you have a really lovely weekend, and make the most of it, make the most of being back here. Because as you said, I'm sure as students, we don't appreciate it as much as perhaps we should do. So appreciate it while you're back.
Robin, thank you both. So there is time for Q&A if you would like it, not compulsory. This is being live streamed, and those who are watching at home can raise questions in the chat on YouTube, and we have your representative in this room will put up his hand and ask your question. So if any of you have questions to ask of Simon or of Robin, then we would very much welcome them. But as Simon says, we also just want to hear from you. So if anything that has been said sort of triggers your memories of what Homerton was like when you were here, how you were with the staff and your fellow students, how Homerton and the rest of Cambridge interacted together, then we want to hear all of that. So over to you. When I stop talking, I don't want there to be a sea of people with their hands in their laps. I want to see everybody's hand up, wanting to contribute. So with that warning, I'm gonna count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Super. Maybe at the back. Mm-hmm.
Done deal with being part of the university, at least in the form that there was, and we weren't. We were not actually incorporated until December of the first term. So we turned up thinking, yeah, here we are, and actually it's all a bit up in the air still, which was slightly disconcerting. And the thing that gives me the most pleasure being here today, hearing what Simon has to say, is that there was a great deal of dubiousness, shall we say, in the university about Homerton becoming an approved society. I think there was a certain snobbishness really about what the college was doing, about the fact that we were only teachers, the fact that we were only doing a BA and not a BA, and that the assumption was we were all sort of here because we were too stupid to go anywhere else. When in actual fact, some of the most incredibly able people I've ever met in my life, the people that I have made friends with as a consequence of being a student here, I them sitting next to me. And I was just great to see Homerton's a full college in the university, fully accepted, cutting edge, doing things that some of lots of the other colleges aren't really doing. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Kathy. That's fabulous to hear. Shall I stay here and do? Okay. I'm conducting. Okay, okay. Go for it. Yeah.
Just said, I was and there are 100 BA students from I think 8 institutions or 9 institutions, 50 of which were Homerton, and no university college wanted to take them. So Newnham took us. We were officially at Newnham for the year on the understanding that we never walked in the space. And when we came to graduation, the senior tutor came down from Newnham with a tape measure, measured all our skirts, inspected all our shoes. My father, I had plain black shoes, but they had a sling back. And my father had to polish my old black walking shoes for me to graduate.
Slingbacks wouldn't do, right?
We were told to hide behind the Senate House. We were not allowed to access Newnham. And we were told that when Newnham arrived, we had to quietly slip ourselves into the bag. And every Homerton student except one got a second one first, which we thought was
Amazing.
really insulting. When Newnham arrived, they had skirts up there. They had long sleeves, and we were absolutely
I bet.
in 1968, we all got instructions that trousers trousers were suitable wear for any gym activity or dance, but we were not to wear them to anything else. And on the 1st of January, when we came back after Christmas, the deputy principal turned up in a trouser suit, and the following day, the whole college turned out in trousers.
That's glorious. Amazing. It's change comes to Cambridge eventually, doesn't it? Eventually, yeah. Good. Mm. Mm.
Come on, lads, we can all go out, we can get him. He hasn't got any weapons, we can see that. And unfortunately, the person who was in charge of the hospital, he took that. And so we kind of brought him.
Oh, wow. That's a story I'd love to tell. The day that Homerton arrested somebody. Yeah. Absolutely stunning. Okay, there were more hands up. Anne.
Can I just add two things? One, with change makers and everything that's happening, there are a lot of us who are still around in Cambridge, and to help in the future, I wonder whether or not it would be nice. You have people in Homerton, but to actually use the alumni who are in Homerton to help with your freshers, to tell our stories, to actually mentor them in a way. And I'm happy to do that. Many people know that I was on the Homerton roll, and I've kept lots of things going. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention. And also from what Kathy was saying about when we started, because I was at cohort, and about the graduation, even though they had 3.5 years to organise when Homerton would graduate, funnily enough, we couldn't graduate with the rest of the university in 1980. We had to wait a whole week later and graduate on our own. So that's just another thing. And I remember as well Pretty saying that once the university didn't know that Homertonians were the papers that they were marking, that all the grades went up. And this is just the fact that people are against us. But it's great to be part of Homerton and to know how far it's come. And we are a family, and the same home is in Homerton, and that's one of the reasons why I keep coming back.
Fabulous. That's great to hear. Thank you. Amazing.
I'm from the Midlands as well. I'm from Coventry. And the only difference is we have buses. I arrived here. Had to convince my head of sixth form not to phone various universities to try and get me in because my A-level grades were correct in wrong places. I actually wanted to come here, so that saved me an argument with Katie. That was very good. I arrived and I had 4 absolutely brilliant years. I did not let any of the social assumptions get in my way in the slightest. And when I came to graduate with my husband, my mother, my father, do you know what? It could have been in the middle of a ski slope in Austria in February. It would not have mattered in the slightest. Yes, there were assumptions, but I don't like hierarchies. And I spent the whole of my life ignoring it. And I got a lot of practice of that in Cambridge when I was here.
See, that's why. This is why I say how important your stories are, because we'll have many young women who are still fighting someone's battle, by the way. But if they know your story and your story and yours, they think, oh my gosh, they had it 10 times worse, and they found a way to succeed. And it's not just that you talked about that when the exams were blind, the marks went up. That's been the same for black children too, by the way. That when their exams are colour-blind, they get better results. But what it says to me is, one of the things that we don't maybe shout about enough, Matthew, is that perhaps above all, Homerton College is a fighting college. Right? That the fight to belong, the fight to be acknowledged, how skillful you all are. Imagine if we told that to this generation, what they're coming into. That's a lot to kind of think, okay, all right, this is what we do at Homerton. We don't kowtow to the establishment. We're here to find our own voice in many different spaces. More questions?
Yeah, well, I want to bring Robin in on that actually, because if we're a fighting college, it's the Homerton Union of Students that's doing. You know, there are issues of today that loom large in the minds of our current students, just as these issues did when you were here. So what gets students worked up these days, Robin? Come to the mic.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's a variety, really. We've got, I mean, there's a reason it's not just me on the union, otherwise it would be, first of all, a mammoth task, and second of all, I can't represent everyone. So having Simon appointed has made BME voices much more listened to, and the campaigns for diversity across the whole university and across the union have been really wonderful, and they're all really committed to making sure that every minority has a voice here. And especially, you know, like you said, we're getting a lot of practice of ignoring the hierarchies rather than trying to work within them. We're just kind of doing our own thing. And it is really wonderful to hear the stories of how far we've come when I hear that you weren't able to graduate in the same way that I was, whereas I was lucky enough to be Simon's first cohort of BA graduates, and we came through and we were treated just like anyone else. And I think that's so important that we've got to the point that Homerton is viewed the same as any other college, and in a lot of aspects looking more forward than other colleges are.
Yeah, I really feel that battle has been won, comprehensively won. Homerton is now a Cambridge college on a par, right? No better than that.
I'm going to stick my neck out here, and I don't know where this is going to go. Hold on to your seats. But wouldn't it be nice if we could re-graduate you in a way in which you fully deserve? And I don't know if we could do it, but it would make a wonderful statement, wouldn't it? You know, like when you reaffirm your vows. Maybe I shouldn't go down there. Open up another can of worms. But wouldn't it be wonderful if you all came to Senate House, and I sat in that? You know, I guess one of the reasons I'd like to do it because I get to sit on the throne.
Yes. Partners here. My husband did a BA.
We get the MA after graduating,
and I know it's
and they don't get the MNs.
it's totemic, it's not
Right.
substantive, it
Right.
doesn't mean in you anymore a year later. But it was a part of that kind of apartheid that I think we felt quite strongly.
So I know Matthew's taking notes. And many of you know there's an interim vice chancellor, Anthony Freeland, and he said to me, Simon, I'm only going to be here for about 6 months. If there's anything you want to do, let me know.
What has the Homerton still had, has it still got a particular connection with education? Because obviously those of us who came through on that would
would always want Homerton, although you admit people for everything now, would want there be a particular connection with education.
So
I think
Wanna go on?
approximately. So I did the PGCE Freshers Week last week, so the teacher training one, and I think approximately half of our postgrads, like about 180, so the same amount as the freshers, undergrad freshers cohort, are PGCEs. So we do still admit a lot of people with ties to education, and I think it's still the biggest degree done on undergrad, as far as I'm aware.
yes.
Yes.
So
That information would be nice if it goes out, you know, because when you get the journals or things that come out, for those of us, that would be nice to know.
No problem. Another question there, please.
I'm being perhaps controversial too, but I'm sort of sure you're not this it. But I feel that actually that's what you, Simon, was saying. That actually, the very fact that you are, your desire, I'm feeling, is to see people grow and
Right.
develop
It
and
is.
become the whole person
Yes.
that they are able to be with the opportunities. And part of your team, it doesn't matter where we are in that team, where on a flat level, that actually it's the growing and developing that as educators, I mean, you know, I've been
Yeah.
you know, to me, that seems the most important thing that people go to for actually in my world,
Right.
to become the whole person God would want to be, but
Right, right.
to be the whole person that they're able to be.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name again.
It's Julie.
Julie. I don't think that's controversial.
Well, I was just a little bit worried. I didn't want to seem as though it being, you know, I've got a lot of t-shirts and got things and done things, but actually that sense of seeing people grow and develop,
Right.
become the whole person,
Well-
it's just so essential, and that's what I value.
It is, and we wear it with a badge of honour. That's our, in no small measure, our North Star. But you wanted to do a question? Yes, please.
Graduated in 77, but there were not many jobs, and I went into civil service. And I ended up working for the Foreign Office. And the person on the next section to me, the same job, had a PhD in Oxford.
Wow.
But I could always get people to do papers for me. And psychology.
There you go. There you go.
It fascinating.
Mm.
Didn't actually help anyone with a beard from home.
Well, there you go. And after a few drinks, she probably tells you she was a spy too.
As well as it's looking back, we're also celebrating 30 years of friendship.
Right.
It's a big,
Yes.
really nice partnership. All the years, for 30 years, and it's one of those things I really, really cherish in my life. Friendships are really interesting.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Is there any more burning questions? I mean, listen, we're here for another few hours. There'll be lots. You can tap us on the shoulder, and but has anybody got anything burning that please?
Oh, I think Homerton, I learned now very much a buzzword, resilience.
Yeah.
And one of the ways I learned that resilience was to do with the geography, because once we chose to do the BEd, we were having to travel into Cambridge every day, over the bridge, on our bikes. And at that time, there was lots of traffic and very little, it was very dangerous,
Right.
really, going in. And if you wanted to play sport and become, you could actually get a balloon. They did let us.
Right.
And so, again, you were going in late at night, travelling miles. So we actually became quite fit as well.
I'm not sure where this is going. Lovely. I mean, there's a one at the front there. She's tearful and because it's emotional, but it's joyful emotion.
It's the friendship that stays with you. I know that with teachers, we love our jobs, and we really feel that purpose in life. You know, it really feels like a vocation, and we've had, really lived our lives. to the
It's
full.
pri- it's-
But the friendship just
it's priceless.
underpins it all.
It's priceless. I mean, I love the stories. I don't know who's got the story, but I know Sally told me there's a marijuana story. That somebody recruited some hippies. Or no, the word was hippie style people. to the college, and then one day they were walking down the corridor, and there was this haze of smoke. I'm not sure if any of you were involved in that.
It is being recorded.
Talk to me over lunch. Two more. Yeah.
After I got going, I think more on the, what you actually
Actually do.
nowadays.
We'll keep that a secret too.
In that I did the survey. I was very proud of it.
Yeah.
And it opened doors for me to go on to do a BA at the Middlesex Polytechnic in Sociology and Education, and later an MA at the University of London.
Wow.
But all my Homerton friends, and my very best friends, we were all at Homerton together, one younger than me. But we all kept in contact. Corridor ABC,
Right.
to real people who served. They taught, and then we went on to work in Africa, and are back, and are still serving. Okay, most of us were kind of from background
Right.
of Christians, or fathers were reverends,
Yes.
but they were real servants of the realm.
What's your name?
I'm Beverly
Beverly.
Cowan, Janet Beverly Cowan. but,
You met Beverly.
We did. Of course we did. So Beverly and I share the same educational trajectory. Although, so I followed in her footsteps. I followed her to Middlesex, but after Middlesex, it became a university. It was a polytechnic and then a university. I followed her to the University of London. You didn't know that, did you? And then I followed her to Homerton. Wow, who would have thought, eh? I was following your footpath. You're standing on the shoulder of giants, eh? We'll take that. I think we after, please. 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 Do you need the microphone? Are you okay?
I hope you can hear me. I've been saying to my daughter, I feel a bit of a fraud because I didn't graduate. I got a teaching certificate like that. I had my education at Homerton between the years of 1943 to 1945, the last 2 years of the war. Right. And it was difficult because Woolley was short. We had to do all our own cleaning, our domestic arrangement, help with doing the table, help with the kitchen. It was a struggle, but it was 2 of the happiest years of my life. I'm actually a month older than the Queen was.
Matthew, you should bring boxes of handkerchiefs because it's getting to all of us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think we do have to call stumps at that point. But how amazing to hear all of that. And Audrey, we know, I said earlier, alumni reunion weekend starts when you come into the room. It's brilliant to see you back. I will pass on to Sally, who will give us a few sort of air traffic control notices about what to expect for the rest of the day.
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see faces to all the names that I've been emailing over the last few months. So I'm delighted so many of you are here today. I hope you have a lovely day. I've just got a few little notices for you, really. First of all, to let you know, I know everyone is finding everything slightly disorientating. You know where you are, but you don't quite know where you are because it is so different. So there are plenty of us around to show you where to go if you get a little bit lost and the map doesn't make sense. So my colleague, he's not here now, Chris and Joe and Matthew and myself, anyone with a lanyard, and if you're a little bit lost, then just find us and we'll help you to find where you need to go to. There are a couple of things that have now been added to the schedule that you received. And to let you know that there is a library exhibition on throughout the day that is sort of slightly associated with the Homerton film. But you're very welcome to go to the library at any point, and there will be staff there too. So there'll be things to see there. The Huss office have kindly offered to stay open between 10:30 and 3:30 today if you wanted to buy any Homerton merchandise. And the Huss office is located literally just up the corridor in this direction. And it has got a sign next to it. They've just moved into a beautiful new part of the college, so they're just getting themselves straight. But there is a chance to buy little mementos of Homerton if you want to. We're also running some tours of the student rooms, and Seth and Nancy, who two of our students, will be waiting at the buttery at either 10:45 or 1:45 today, if you wanted just to have a little wander around and see what the student rooms are like. The buttery is down this end, which is linked into the fabulous new dining hall. The buttery also has got a refreshment station that's going to be operating throughout the day. So if you fancy a tea or a coffee and you just want to sit and chat, there is refreshment available for you. And for those of you having lunch today, again, we're not doing any formal seating plans. So if you have a special diet, there'll be a little card for you to pick up, and then you get a chance to sit next to who you want to sit to next to and have a chat over lunch. We have the choir performing this afternoon, actually across the road in the church. And again, if you haven't signed up for it, you are still very welcome to come along. And if you're not quite sure where it is, again, we can show you. But it's literally just across the road. You can't miss it. And I think you'll be in for a treat. And they're also singing Grace at lunch today. Lunch is at 12 and the choir is up to 4, I think. My programme's just on the floor there. Just going on to the Years Out celebrations, it's got specific years, but we're keeping this a very open and informal and fluid time. So you don't have to have sort of graduated or matriculated in a year ending in a 2. You're very welcome. If you feel there's a 20 years to celebrate or a 30 years to celebrate, do please go along to the rooms and just enjoy yourself. It's a very sort of informal time, and that is literally just a chance for you to have a chat and have more tea and more coffee. And I think we have covered everything, actually. Again, the film, not everyone has signed up for the film, but if you would like to see it, there are still spaces in here. It's going to be starting shortly now, and there's another showing this afternoon. And I think Audrey, I know, is going to thoroughly enjoy it. It's an interesting film to watch. Yeah, I know. So that's all. That marks the end of our welcome. So do have a lovely day. Those of you who are watching the film now, just stay where you are. One of our fellows, Peter Cunningham, is going to do an introduction. And if you want to have a bit of a discussion about it afterwards, then you're welcome to do so. And I will see you again throughout the rest of the day. So thank you all very much.
I'm going to go back to the Huss office.
Let's go in front of here, look. We stand in front of this with the Homerton figure. Okay.
Be right for my friends.
Oh my God.
Thank you.